Hello everyone, Dr. N.Senthil Madasamy, Associate Professor Computer Science Engineering. Great pleasure for me to welcome you all for this session. In this session, topic to be covered is file systems. At the end of Unit 2, the students will be able to summarize the scope and laws of computer forensics for cybersecurity professionals. At the end of this session, the students will be able to understand the file systems. Windows is a series of operating systems with a graphical user interface developed by Microsoft. This GUI was introduced in 1985 in response to the highly successful Macintosh GUI, which was released in 1984. Although Apple's macOS X continues to grow in market share, Windows is still the dominant operating system worldwide. Microsoft Windows support only 5 file systems: FAT12, FAT16, FAT32, FAT64 and NTFS. FAT, File Allocation Table, is a file system developed by Microsoft that utilizes a table to store information about where the files are stored, where file space is available, and where files cannot be stored. NTFS, New Technology File System, subsequently replaced by FAT. NTFS was developed by Microsoft and introduced with Windows NT. NTFS is a primary file system that has been included with Windows since the advent of the Windows 2000. Windows 2000 and subsequent Windows operating systems still support FAT. The FAT12 file system was introduced in 1980 as the first version of FAT and is the file system found on floppy disk. Initially, the FAT12 was developed to support 5.25-inch floppy disk but was later used for smaller 1.44 MB floppy disk. Practically every operating system running on a personal computer today still support FAT12. The FAT16, introduced in 1987, is a 16-bit file system that was developed for use with MS-DOS. File names in FAT16 are limited to 8 characters and the file extensions are 3 characters long. This file system supports disk partitions with a maximum storage of 2 GB. FAT32 is a 32-bit version of the FAT that uses the smaller clusters, thereby allowing for more efficient utilization of space. The operating system determines the cluster sizes. This file system was introduced with Windows 95 and has a maximum file size of 4 GB. FAT64 file system, also referred to as XFAT, that is Extended File Allocation Table, was developed by Microsoft. This file system was introduced with Vista Windows Service Pack 1, Windows Embedded CE 6.0 and Windows 7 operating system. Interestingly, Mac OS X Snow Leopard 10.6.5 can recognize XFAT partition. Therefore, it is a practical file system to use when transferring files from personal computer which is running the Windows to a Mac. However, this file system does not possess the security or journaling features found in NTFS. FATX is a file system developed for use on hard drive of Microsoft Xbox video game console, as well as any associated memory cards. It is worth mentioning the FATX file system because the computer forensics investigators have found incriminating evidence on video game consoles. NTFS New Technology File System is the latest file system developed by Microsoft for use with Windows operating system. Unlike FAT, it supports advanced file encryption and compression. File compression allows the users to reduce the number of bits in a file, which allows for faster transmission of the file. It allows support 16-bit Unicode character set for file names and folder. which has more intentional appeal. File and folder names can also have spaces and uses printable characters, except for quotation, forward slash, backward slash, colon, less than symbol, greater than symbol, etc. NTFS added security to this file system with the introduction of access control list. An access control list is a list of permissions associated with a file and details the users and programs granted access to the file. The forensics examiner should know who has access to certain files. NTFS files also have potentially negative implications for an investigator because the potential for encryption. NTFS files can be very large, with a maximum size of 16 EP, that is 16 into 1024 power 6 source NTFS system files. At 0th position, MFT file, master file table, which contains one file record for each file and directory on the volume. First position, MFT MIRR file, which is a duplicate of first 4 entries of the MFT. Second position, log file, which track metadata changes. It is used for system restoration. Third position, volume file, which contains information about the volume including the file system version and volume label. Fourth position, ATTR def file, which records the attributes and numeric identifiers. Fifth position, dollar file, which indicates the root directory. Sixth position, dollar bitmap, which indicates which clusters are used and which are free and available to allocate. At 7th position, dollar boot file, which contains bootstrapping code. At 8th position, dollar bad class, which lists the clusters that have errors that are unusable. At 9th position, dollar secure, which indicate ACL database. At 10th position, dollar uppercase, which converts uppercase character to lowercase Unicode. At 11th position, dollar extend, which contains optional extensions such as dollar quota or dollar repos. At the 12th position, MFT extension entries. In this summary, we learned about file systems. I mentioned references here. I hope you found this video is clear about the topic I lectured. Thank you and have a pleasant day.